Hey everybody, welcome to video 65. So with this video we're going to kick off our reproductive system units, and we're going to start out by looking at the male essential organs. So just a brief introduction to the reproductive system. The purpose of it is going to be to form gametes, which are going to be the sperm and ova, which allow fertilization that leads to the development and birth of an offspring. There's going to be a lot of hormones that are associated with this unit, so we'll go over them. Those hormones are going to play a role in forming those gametes, the development and birth, as well as the development of secondary sex characteristics in an individual. Reproductive structures that we're going to go over, they can be classified as either essential or accessory organs. In males and females, the essential organs are going to be collectively known as the gonads. For males, which is what this video will focus on, the gonads are known as the testes. Accessory organs are going to be those that are ducts or glands or external genitalia associated with the reproductive system, but they are not responsible for actually forming the sperm and ova, which are necessary for fertilization and reproduction. So the first male structure we're going to look at here is the scrotum, which are going to be responsible for housing the testes, or its singular would be known as the testis. The testes, a pair of sex glands located in the scrotum. The scrotum itself is a very muscular pouch located outside of the body. The reason it's located outside of the body is that it keeps the testes around 3 degrees Celsius cooler than the rest of the body. So if you think your normal body temperature, we always talk about it being 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or around 37 degrees Celsius. The testes located in that scrotum are going to be around 34 degrees Celsius. And so it's really important that it is cooler than the rest of the body, because that's going to be the temperature that's necessary to form those sperm, which are we call spermatozoa, in a process known as spermatogenesis. And so depending on the temperature of the body, the muscles, you have your dartos muscles and your cremaster muscles here, they can pull in the testes, or they can relax and pull the testes away from the body to allow them to maintain that 34-ish degrees Celsius temperature, again, in compared to how hot or how cold the rest of the body is. So the testes themselves, they're going to be responsible for producing those spermatozoa and testosterone. They're approximately 5 centimeters long and oval in shape, so that's going to be right around 2 inches long. And they're going to have 2 layers of connective tissue wrapped around them. One of them is the tunica albuginea. The tunica albuginea is going to penetrate into each testis and divide it into around 300 to 400 lobules. So you can see here the breakdown. This is the cremaster muscle, part of the scrotum, but then this here, this oval here, would be the testis, and you can see here the tunica albuginea that's going to be moving into it. You can see seminiferous tubules, those lobules located around here. We'll get into those because they play a very important role in spermatogenesis. So these seminiferous tubules are very long and very coiled tubes. They're going to be separated by septa or septum, like we've mentioned other septa of the body before. The spermatozoa are going to develop in the walls of the seminiferous tubules, and then once they are formed, they're going to get released into the lumen, that empty space in between those tubules. There are cells known as interstitial cells, or you'll see them a little more frequently known as Leydig cells, that are going to be responsible for secreting testosterone, and they are located in between the seminiferous tubules. And so your testes, not only are they forming sperm through a process known as spermatogenesis, but they are also have these Leydig cells that are going to be responsible for secreting testosterone. So the process of spermatogenesis is the process of making spermatozoa. You have a hormone known as follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH, that's going to cause these spermatogonia, which are basically pre-sperm stem cells. They're going to undergo meiosis that eventually is going to result in haploid sperm cells. And the reason it's important that they are haploid sperm cells is haploid means that they have half DNA. You might remember that from biology. And so they have half the normal set of DNA so that when they meet another haploid oocyte, or the egg cell, and combine for fertilization, that's going to give you 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. That is your full normal amount of DNA. So that's why it's important that spermatogenesis form haploid cells. The process of spermatogenesis takes approximately 64 days, or you have one cycle starting every 16 days. So you basically have 4 cycles starting and carrying on over the course of one single cycle. And it's going to form between 1 to 300 million spermatozoa every day. So here's a picture. This is spermatogenesis from a meiotic standpoint here. So you have these spermatogonium. The stem cells are going to divide. You're going to get meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 here. It first will undergo mitosis so that it's able to replenish that spermatogonium. But then meiosis will cause it to divide into 2 cells here. They are haploid at this point, but then they'll divide even further to give you your 4 haploid cells. And we'll talk more about spermiogenesis and getting them from just this regular spermatid here into a full mature spermatozoa. Here you can see the lumen, that space in the seminiferous tubule here, your interstitial tubule, going to be located around here. You can actually see here early spermatids, these right here, forming in these spermatogonia all around here. It's a really good cross-section image of a seminiferous tubule. So here's what a fully mature sperm will look like. They will have a distinctive head, midpiece, tail, as well as an end piece. Here the head is going to have the nucleus, which is where your DNA is going to be. Very, very little cytoplasm, and they will have an acrosome cap here. You can see in green here this cap of the acrosome. That acrosome is going to contain lysozymes, which are going to be responsible for degrading some of the protective coverings that an egg cell has. Your midpiece is going to be packed with mitochondria. Those mitochondria, remember, the powerhouse of the cell. They're going to be generating the ATP necessary to move the flagellum here so that that sperm is able to swim. And then here, the tail piece here is going to be an axial filament made of a single centriole. Centriole being one of those important spindle fibers responsible for maintaining shape and other things in the cell. It's going to use that flagellum to kick back and forth in order for that sperm to be able to swim. So, a brief overview of some of the male essential organs. Again, this is just essential, so we talked about the testes as well as spermatogenesis and the structure of a sperm. So we're just getting started here, so make sure that you're keeping up with these video clips.